Hi you guys, welcome back. Okay, clearly I am recording the same day as my last video, and that is because I had to split up my plant tour because it is so many plants. I have 311 plants, I counted, and it's just too much to pack into one video. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the last video. That is the plant room tour. That is the room we're in. And now we're gonna go out into the living room, main open area of the apartment and go through all of those plants. And then either in this video or the next video, we'll go into the other bedroom and go through those plants, okay? So it's a lot, but that's why we're splitting it up, because I won't make you guys watch like 10 hours. Also, before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe and comment below as we go through if you guys have any questions, if you wanna know about any plants, anything like that. All right, you guys, so we're now in the main area and we're actually gonna start by this balcony door because it's getting darker outside. So I'm only gonna lose light, and I wanna be able to show you guys the plants that are right in front of that door without having to use like a flash or anything. So different from my other videos, we're starting over here. And then we'll go over here, and then you guys can see my ring light and stand. And then we'll go over here. Normally I'd start over here because like the plant room is on the other side of this wall. So normally I'd start over there, but yeah, just for light's sake, we are going to come over here and work our way out. All right, so here is the balcony door. We're gonna start in here. I should start with the obvious one. So this one is an epipremnum elbow. I've talked about this one, you guys, but this was the one that I got from Sunnyside Gardens not that long ago, and I was so excited because I purchased it because it had such long vines, and I got this pole set up for it and everything, but I had just a period where I could not care for it and it almost died on me. But then I finally got it repotted, trimmed it back, did everything. And then literally overnight, this is what happened. So it sucks. I don't know why. What is that? Okay, I don't think that's a mealybug. Kind of looked like it. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's putting out a new growth point there and there. So I'm super conflicted because half of me wants to just throw it away because look, it's obviously fully dead except for one leaf, which also makes no sense. But then it's putting out a growth point and a growth point. So I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut all the dead leaves off, clean it up, see where there's growth points, and then I just might have to honestly in the future prop and fill it in, but I don't know. It just makes me so sad. I literally bought this because I wanted it to be a full climbing and honestly eventually mature form, but nope, didn't happen. Ironically, right next to it, I have a mixed pot of propagations of epipremnum. It's mixed though. It's like partially epipremnum aurea, which honestly, it's barely got any variegation. And then it's partially elbow epipremnum. So ironically, that is the plant of that. And I could technically fill that in, but I don't know. Like I said, you guys have seen me do these polls. Literally, when was that? I don't even know when that was. Not long ago, but I don't know. Anyways, wanted to start with that and show you that because that's the reality behind what can happen. And I mean, you guys know I thought I would save it, but I did not. So that sucks. Hopefully I'll get a mature one soon. Okay, now on to the happy stuff. Right here we have a Monstera deliciosa. This was from a big box store find. I found a sport variegated one and then I split it up, if you guys remember that video. So that is one of them. It's honestly just, it's a plain monstera doing its thing. And I mean, this is all kind of crowded because I have a big pot just sitting there. But yeah. And then down here we have a syngonium. Oh no, what is it called? Oh, syngonium tri-leaf maybe? I don't know, I forgot. But it's chilling there. It needed to rehab for a while. You guys can see the stem kind of died back, so it had way more leaves, but it got spider mites, so I had to rehab, and now she's doing good. I apologize, I know this is not the best angle, but I'm right up against my blinds. So right here we have the most beautiful syngonium elbow. This actually is that pot, and it crawled all the way over here. And yeah, this was the very large tall one that used to be in my plant room that I think I have a reel on Instagram chopping it, but I actually totally chopped this plant back. It was massive, but it was vining and growing out of control and I was just over it. So I chopped it back to a stump, and it put, okay, not a stump, but like you guys see where I chopped it, and randomly, I didn't even realize it put out all these new leaves, and now that it's closer to the window, it's putting out crazy variegation. So syngonium, you can really chop those back. And then next to it, I have another Alocasia dragon scale. This is why I don't really care about the other one where it's a single leaf, because this one has a few plants in there and it's doing fine. These both of these Alocasias have gone through a lot of drought, so they've definitely had moments where they've had like no leaves, and then like this dragon scale has a bunch of leaves, or Alocasia silver dragon, my bad. But yeah, so the dragon scale definitely used to have like way more leaves, but it's coming back. And then the silver dragon, this is insane. I can't believe both of my silver dragons are doing so well. This one has so many plants in the pot. This one is a Costa Farms silver dragon, whereas the other one I had gotten from a seller. But yeah, this one's doing pretty good. It's just like, look at the leaves. It's a little more narrow leaves than my other one. So that's kind of interesting. And then maybe my dragon scale will eventually get to that point. But this is kind of a good example. My other Alocasias are in a cabinet with humidity and light and everything. These ones, they're doing just as well being in normal apartment conditions. So yeah, I don't know. You gotta kind of get these down. They're very different per person and really depends, but they're not too bad. So now if I pull you this way, we have my slightly variegated money tree. I really wish this thing had way more variegation, but you'd be paying a lot for that. This plant has struggled for me. You guys see it's not really that big. It only has 3 leaves. And I mean, I think it might be not okay with being in front of a south window, but honestly, like, I don't know, it'll drop leaves and then I'll put out new ones and drop them and put out new ones. So I don't know. I gotta figure that one out. And then right next to it, we have a Syngonium Panda. I think it's also known as like a Syngonium Panda Galaxy or whatever, but basically just has super splashy, variegated leaves. I love it. Kind of reminds me of the Mojito, which is right here, but slightly different. And I will say though, this one, I love this one. It is so pretty. I wanted this Syngonium, what did I say it was? Panda Galaxy? I wanted it so bad for so long, but now it keeps getting spider mites. I don't know why it's being such a poo-poo. So yeah, it's gotten leggy and whatever. It's definitely had to quarantine many times. Right here, man, wait a second, what was this? What was this? Guys, I don't think I know what this is. No. I know. Oh my God, you guys, this was my Jose Bono. Oh my God, I totally forgot. Okay, fun fact. So this was my very first mother plant of Jose Bono. Jose Buono. It's hard to say. I only know because this was the original chunk that the seller had taken a cutting from and then rooted it and grew it into a new plant for me, and I never took off the chunk. But this plant was on a moss pole, and if you guys remember, I said that I'm getting sick of my wooden stake moss poles because they're rotting. That's the moss pole. It rotted and split, which meant this plant, which was top heavy on a pole and established, snapped. It tipped over and snapped. So I had no choice but to totally cut it back to here, which is crazy. I'll show you how many cuttings I have from it later on, but I totally forgot. Has a new growth point coming in there though, and actually a new one down there. So we have hope. We have hope. I just gotta remember to like water this thing and stay on top of it. But wow, I totally forgot that that happened and that this is what that is. Philodendron Jose Buono. Right next to it, we have this really stunning Philodendron White Princess. If you guys recall, I did get this recently. I got this from Tonkadale, and I got it because look at that stunning, stunning leaf. And I love the White Princess because it has the pink stem and petiole. So I put it in a really cute pink pot. The reason we did get it though is because of this. I post on my Instagram, so if you follow me there, you've probably seen it already, but it put out this stunning half moon leaf. And like, look how big these leaves are. I need to get this on a legit pole. But yeah, it's so full. And then actually, let's see if I can do this. Do you guys see that? It has an all white plant in there. All white. I know that that's not good because it needs chlorophyll, but it is just stunning. It's crazy. And then just, I mean, there's so many plants in this. It is so pretty. And then you have a half moon. I am obsessed. And then I have it in a very cute pink pot. So, Philodendron White Princess. And then right here, we have another Hoya from that mystery unboxing I did lately. I think it's a Calistophylla. Hoya Calistophylla. Looks almost identical to mine, but I love this one because look how big these leaves are. So pretty. So that's kind of nice, but because my other Hoya Calistophylla only wants to flower for me, I'm really hoping that this one wants to put out some actual leaves. And then boom. We have this cutie. You guys remember this one? This one is from Forest. This is the Philodendron McDowell, I believe. Let me look. Oh, it doesn't have the price on here. I'm pretty sure it's a Philodendron Dean McDowell. I got it because it actually came from Forest in this pot, already planted up. And then I bought this really cheap plastic tray for it that is like way too big. But yeah, it has a new leaf coming in. It's already crawling. Although, does it seem like it kind of wants to climb? It's coming out. I don't know. It seems like it wants to climb, but yeah. Nice pillowy leaves. Philodendron Dean McDowell. So that would be these plants down there. Now up here, I'm gonna do this one because it is just in the way. This would be my jar of props of my, oh, we have a new leaf there. Florida red stem. It's totally caught on my Hoya. Florida red stem. I have a whole jar because I chopped it from my plant pool right there. It was outgrowing it and I was like, screw it. So we're gonna set her there and out of the way. Is that crazy though? I'm excited because I actually had that one on a moss pole, so it was giving me the mature leaf shape. And now you guys know why I'm kind of over it by having so many plants that are so similar in shape and green. Like, I don't need 10 of them. But anyways, back over here. By the way, this is an IKEA plant stand. It's double tiered and it actually fits a lot of stuff. If you guys put like little things on here, highly recommend. Okay, back to business. We have a philodendron strawberry shake. There's actually one plant there. Oh my God, wait. One right there and one right there. So there are three little baby plants in here. I forgot I did 3 propagations. I chopped my mother plant because it was giving me these leaves and then little stunted growth leaves. And then I rooted them and I potted them all together, but oh my gosh, that's such a pretty leaf. And then look, we have a new one on the way. So yeah, a lot of times I'll just kind of chop things back and prop them and then put like multiple cuttings in a pot just because I want, you know, it'll be a full pot of strawberry shake. And then here I have my Adansonii mint variegated, which is from this mother plant. I have a few cuttings in there rooting. Actually, it looks like they're already rooted, but we'll pot those up eventually. And then I have my, what is this? Monstera esqueleto? It's giving me spider mite vibes. So I think I gotta clean that actually, but that is just a random prop because I wanna put it in with my mother plant. And then we have more props, wet sticks. Are they growing? Yeah, look at it. You can see growth points coming in. And then, yeah, like I said, this is my Monstera Adansonii mint. Has a little yellowing from lack of water, but I love the minty version. I do definitely though want the like archipelago white elbow version, but someday I'll get that. And then right here we have a Hoya curtsii from a recent plant haul. And you guys know about this cutie from my last video. This is my philodendron bipennifolia variegata. This leaf is not that variegated, but I'm hoping that this next one will be. It is still in moss from the International Aroid show, but I need to put it in some soil. And then right next to it, we have a beautiful big Hoya. This one, what is this one called again? The Hoya marginata. Stunning, huge leaves. I love a big leafed Hoya. I love the pot that I got for it, but I don't think it's getting its moment. I want to put it somewhere else. I don't know where though. Right here we have an Alocasia bambino. I honestly didn't even realize that it dropped a lot of leaves. It kind of gets, everything gets blended in together as you guys can see. But yeah, I hope this one comes back and gives me more leaves. This was a surprise plant from Dino. He just randomly thought of me one day and got me it. So super cute. So yeah, I hope it comes back. Behind that, if you guys remember from my big box or hunting video, we have this cutie. This is my philodendron mame. I think it's like silver cloud or something like that. But mames, there's like a crawling and a climbing version. This one is a crawler, and this is the newest leaf. Took me so long to finally get it potted up in that long rectangle pot that I bought. You guys see? Do you guys remember we bought that pot for it? Finally got it in there. And then next to it, we have this kind of obnoxious variegated giganteum. It's like a, I think they might actually call it like a variegated snow blizzard giganteum or something, just because it has like these crazy fully white variegated splotchy leaves. But honestly, in the winter, I usually get these leaves. This is like my winter growth. A little bit of variegation and then a lot of green. But you guys can see it grows like crazy. It is a philodendron giganteum. And if you guys have seen those get to be monstrous. So yeah, right now it's kind of somewhat a centerpiece, but like it's not. I really don't know where to put it. Once we have a house, I'll give it its own spot, but Look at that stem. Like, what am I supposed to do with that, you know? All right, and then next up we have a Philodendron Jose Bono again. This is a propagation from my mother plant, which I'm so glad that I do that because my other one down there, the mother plant, is just a stump now. So I'm kind of glad that I have a prop from it. This one had some spider mites, so it was quarantining for a while, so a lot of the variegation faded. It did not get light. This is the newest leaf though, and eventually I will give it a good spot and it'll get its variegation back. And then right next to that we have the Philodendron Domesticum variegata. I have a bone to pick with this plant. This plant, you guys, as much as I love it when it looks like this, I get a lot of this. It reverts a lot. I've chopped it so many times. I chopped it and it looks like we have a new growth point coming in down there. And when I chopped it, it gave me a growth point there, a whole new stem. But then look at what it does. It gives me fully yellow chartreuse leaves versus a mottled variegation. So it's almost like it reverted, but it didn't because it's a different color. See, it is variegated, but then it'll give me like barely anything and then like nothing at all. So I will say the leaf after all that had a little bit of variegation, but it's just so frustrating. I mean, you guys can see I have chopped this thing so many times. It has dropped leaves like crazy. This plant, I don't know if other people experience it too, but it is so quick to get edema or whatever it's called, you know, where it holds too much water and then the cells burst in the leaves. Yeah, happens so much to this plant. Right now it hasn't happened lately, which is good, but it's kind of curling, so I think it just might need water, to be honest. But I don't know, I am so frustrated. When I first got this plant, it was so beautiful, so variegated. I had like so many leaves with this pattern on it, but then it literally just started being like chartreuse, barely anything, nothing. So I don't know. That's my mother plant. I did take prop cuttings from this. I will say this plant roots so fast and easily. You could throw it in water and it'll just like root like crazy. So I have propagated and taken cuttings and made multiple plants, luckily, since now it's like reverting. But yeah, I don't know. I'll show you guys my other plant of this in a little bit. But yeah, let's go over there. So this is the other side of the table, and this is a little corner. I think I've given you guys an update on this area before. I'm not gonna go through all of these, but this is basically my Wally Grow wall. These are Wally Grow planters. They have a built-in reservoir if you use it. Otherwise, I honestly keep them in their pots because I like to switch and change things out, especially if a plant is struggling. I have just like a Philodendron Brazil, the heartleaf Philodendron, I think that's supposed to be lemon lime Philodendron, but definitely isn't. And then if you guys can recall, I love Scindapsus exotica, one of my favorite, most underrated, beautiful plants. So I have 1, 2, 3 of them. This one really needs water. I don't think this one got enough water. Oh, and then I have a jade Scindapsus here in the middle just to kind of balance it, which I didn't realize it was getting so long. So that is my green wall in the kitchen. And now we can go over here. We have kind of Dino's setup. He knows how to set stuff up. I don't. But this is the Hoya publicalis. This is, oh gosh, I think this one is just a regular like pink. Is it pink splash? No, I don't think it's even pink splash. No, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. But basically, it's not that Hawaiian purple one. It just gets like super silvery, splashy leaves, especially if I spray it with that orchid spray fertilizer. That is what created this leaf, was that fertilizer. When I don't use any fertilizer, this is kind of what I get. So pro tip, I'm just lazy. I haven't done that in so long, but this is actually my second ever Hoya. I got it when I got that Crimson Queen that was in the plant room. Loves it there. And then we have a, what's it called? Like a platinum spathiphyllum, a peace lily. So it doesn't look like it because of the poor lighting right now, but this is actually like a light silver on the coating of these leaves. So it's a little bit more silvery, and it's a peace lily. But again, it's kind of hard to tell in this light. And then right here we have a out of control jungle boogie, which got a massive pot. This jungle boogie was in this plant stand, but it outgrew it like crazy. I someday will have to do something about it because it is getting, it's just already so out of hand. It's so big. I love it though. And then next to it we have my second variegated heartleaf philodendron. It looks like it put out this stem since I have moved it, which is giving me a little more variegation. I did this on purpose because the more light that you give the variegated heartleaf philodendron, the more variegation you're going to get. And as you guys saw from my last variegated heartleaf in the plant room, it's not that variegated, and that's because it's not getting as bright a light. So I was like, you know what, let's put this one right under a grow light. And it's already, I mean, it has put so much more growth out ever since I've done that. Like, look at that. It is crazy. So I am hoping, you know, we have a lot of somewhat reverted or just such pale leaves that now having light right here, we're gonna fill it in with some more variegated leaves. And speaking of that, it trails all the way down to here. And down here, we actually have really good variegated leaves, very mottled. They come out that kind of like pinky color and burgundy, and then they kind of fade, and then they'll turn into like this green on green. Unless they keep really high light, then maybe they would stay more bright white variegation, but just like a Jose Bueno, they kind of fade. So more so green on green, which is fine. It's still pretty. But you guys see, it trails all the way down that one stem. So soon I'm actually gonna give it a massive chop, and hopefully then it will promote it to bush out even more at the top and with new variegated growth. And then down here we just have a random Sansevieria. I think it's cylindrica because it's like, you know, the circly cylindrical leaves, but I think there's a different variety mixed in right there. All right, we're backing up to this area. So let's go from like right here. This actually, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and that one all came from a recent plant haul. So I'll explain that. But this one is the Hoya crassiopatola Splash. Maybe not Splash, I don't know. But that one is one that I've been wanting. I tried to find it at the big box stores when we found that Mame back there, but I never found it. But then a local nursery literally down the road from me had it, and it was like 15 bucks. It was a super good deal and a full pot. And then at that same nursery, they had all of these. They actually had just done a plant shipment, and I was like, holy crap, because they normally wouldn't have rare plants, and they did. So they had this cutie. This is an Amidrium Silver. So you guys saw, I actually have this one in a more mature leaf shape in the plant room. I showed you it had fenestrations. It was right next to the balcony door. This is what it will look like if you get it as a younger plant. So you still get that kind of texture like an Amidrium, but you don't have the fenestrations. But you guys can see this one is way more of a full-on platinum silver. This is a brand new leaf that hasn't even hardened off. I should get this on a pole or something because otherwise it's going to start doing runners. But yeah, now once I get it staked up, it'll actually start maturing and getting fenestrations. Speaking of fenestrations, this is a Monstera Thai constellation. This one does not have fenestrations yet. This is my second Monstera Thai. I am so stoked. Oh, look. There's a baby in there. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. So there's 2 plants in there. When I went to get this, when they were doing their plant drop, this is kind of the best I could look at was, oh, this is what the variegation will look like. I love that it has more of that splotchiness. But then I really always like look for sectoral variegation for Monsteras, but I was a little later and other people snatched them up. So I really only saw that there was this leaf that was mottled and then this leaf that had a little section. Then like this past week, I just got this leaf. You guys, is that not insane? It is almost a half moon. Like, I cannot believe that. I took such a gamble on it because I was like, I don't know. I don't want just like spotted. You know, I always want to have some sort of sectoral. So I took a gamble on it and it just did not disappoint. So I cannot believe that. I actually went there yesterday and I posted on my Instagram story. They had one that was like half moon white and then the other leaf was half moon. And within that was half mint. It was insane. You guys, I don't know who supplies to this plant nursery. It's Lindy's greenhouse in Maple Grove, Minnesota. But they got a really good Thai constellation supplier. And the price, I think it was only like 50 or 60 bucks. And they all had multiples in the pot. Although I did not know mine had a baby. So that's exciting. But yeah. So that's my second Thai constellation. And then over here we have an alocasia. I don't know what variety. If you guys know, let me know. I don't know what variety. I don't know if it's Odora. But I love it and I don't have it yet. And I love that it's all white with green splotches and spots versus usually it's green with like white on it. So I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then we have a philodendron squamiferum. I already have, get out of the way. I already have a squammy, but you guys, squammies are amazing. If you don't have a squamiferum, you guys can see they have these very cute looking waxy fuzzy petioles. They're so amazing. And then they'll mature and they'll eventually get more of like a ghost shape, kind of like a Florida ghost and a Florida green. They'll get like that kind of shape in a way, but still like stay round. They're like a round version of that shape. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I actually already have this plant. I have it as a larger plant, but I got this one because my larger plant kind of grew funky. And I love that this one, it's obviously tissue culture because it's got so many little plants all bunched up together. I'm hoping this one will grow more like a bush and then even, and then the leaf shape will, you know, I can start over almost with this one. So my mature one I'll show you next, and that one's more, I don't know, wacky. And then right here, you guys, I'm not going to go into detail. These are from my International Aroid Show plants. If you saw that video, it was my last video. But we have an Anthurium King of Spades, and which surprisingly is doing just fine, not being in a cabinet without humidity. Like, I don't know how that thing's doing okay. This is the Syngonium Scrambled Eggs from that show. It is not doing too hot acclimating. So there's this leaf that's kind of starting to yellow, and then there's this one that is definitely dying off. They said they didn't ship well, and I'm definitely seeing that. However, this leaf looks fine, and this leaf looks fine. So I'm debating, you guys, chopping this and just chopping and popping and starting over, because the roots were kind of sus when I first potted it up. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I got it for such a steal and I want it to live. If you guys have any tips for this plant, let me know. It's a Syngonium Scrambled Eggs, but it is not doing good acclimating. I don't know, I might even put it in a cabinet to kind of help it out, but TBD on that one. I gotta kind of save this one too. All right, so now we're coming over here. I'm right away just gonna show you my squamiferum since I told you I would. So you guys see, this is the mature leaf shape. And again, look at the amazing petioles. So fuzzy, waxy. But this is it. It's on this like really big coco coir pole. And I mean, I do love it. I love that I actually got the mature leaf shape. Like, I think I'm just being judgy, but yeah, I don't know. But now that I have like a little baby version, I could always eventually pot it up in there with it. So since we're running out of sunlight, I'm gonna come over here. So right here, we have my Syngonium mojito. It is on a 6-foot moss pole, but you guys see how bare it is? So I actually chopped it right there, and then I did that because that prop, the basket of cuttings that are rooted in the plant room that I showed you, I'm gonna be potting those all in at the base there to try and fill this out, because I don't like that it's leggy and that you just see like a pole and then there's some leaves right here. I don't like that. It's not cute. But I love this plant. Love it to death. It is so awesome. It puts out such a mottled variegation and it gives it like a wavy leaf shape. I love it. It eventually, like, it'll come out more on the bright green side for variegation, and then it kind of fades. But yeah, I really like this plant. And like I said, the propagations I took from it, I'm going to fill into this pot eventually. Down here, we have my pot of cuttings from my variegated Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. So far, I don't think I see any variegation pulling through. There's a couple specks on that one. I think like one of these leaves that was new had a little bit on it. I don't know where it is though. So anyways, honestly, I think it's just probably gonna be a plain old Rhaphidophora tetrasperma eventually. And I have a ton of cuttings planted in here so that it would be a bushy pot. Eventually I'd like to have this climb like a wall or something, but we rent right now, so it just gets a stick. And then we have a Monstera esqueleto. This thing is so cute and it's so exciting. So basically, I mean, it's struggling because I forgot to water it for a while, but I was getting a lot of like these leaves. And then I'm not kidding, after I put it on a pole, immediately I got this leaf. Isn't that amazing? Monstera esqueleto. Like, it's sized up so well right when I gave it a pole compared to these leaves. So crazy. But now it's already outgrown the pole. This thing is growing so fast. Oh my God, I just love the fenestrations on an esqueleto. But yeah, it already outgrew the pole. It's growing so fast. That's why I had taken a cutting right here. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Honestly, I hate these coco coir poles, so I think I'm gonna put it on a normal pole, but yeah. And then right here, we have a crazy coincidence. So this was a, what was it? Philodendron cream splash. And then, which makes sense, like you guys see the leaf shape. And then it started getting really splashy. Like, almost all splashy. And then it started giving us full splash leaves. If you guys haven't heard about it, there's a plant called the Philodendron Gabby from Gabriella's Plants. This is practically a Gabby, and this is just one stem from my cream splash, but it's putting out all variegated splashy leaves. This plant used to go for hundreds of dollars. And I used to be like, well, someday when the price comes down, I'll buy one. I was not gonna drop that on a heartleaf philodendron. So whatever, I had the splash, I had the silver stripe, I was over it. But then it turned into the Gabby. It's so crazy. I really can't believe it. I did nothing in particular. So because of that, I mean, I put a bunch of cuttings together because I had one long strand of this plant and then I chopped it up. Maybe chopping it prompted that, but yeah, I chopped it up and then I potted all my cuttings together and then I just got a strand of Gabby. Just a happy accident, because technically it's a mutation. It's a mutation of the Philodendron Brazil. So yeah, anyways, this plant is in the way. That plant is actually right here. It is the Philodendron Burl Marks Fantasy. This is my mother plant, you guys. This thing is huge. Look at the leaf shape, look at the size, beautiful silver. This is the same plant as the one that I have in the red stick cabinet in the plant room. But this is the mother plant that I take a million cuttings from. Like, look at that size. Because it has, you guys see, I got a cut there. It has outgrown this area so many times. And then it just starts over. And I just don't have space. I just kind of want it to stay that size. Don't mind me sitting on the floor, but I'm like really crammed for space. So do you guys remember in the plant room tour, I said I had a pot of Philodendron Florida Beauty, but then some of it was reverted? Well, this is the part that wasn't reverted. This was the actual variegated section of that plant. And it was literally, it was a baby. It wasn't even this shape. It was just like a leaf. And then I separated out the variegated part into this pot of its own. And then I was scared because I was like, oh my God, why is this leaf all green? But then I was getting just stunning leaves. Stunning leaves. And then I got fully variegated leaves. Like, look at that. Is that crazy? This thing grows so fast, you guys. Look at that. I really wish I could show you guys way better. Like, I'm not doing it any justice right now, trying to cram between my plants, but it is so pretty. I love the Florida Beauty. And like I said, so I separated the variegated parts. I actually separated a baby version into another pot. Looks like it had a little problem there, but it has already outgrown the pole. So I'm probably gonna take a cutting once that leaf unfurls. But yeah, I love this thing. I wanna get it a different moss pole because I'm pretty sure the stake of that one broke as well, which is why we're not doing this anymore. Tucked behind that plant, we have a Hoya carrii. It goes down there, all the way up there. I'm not gonna try and pull it out, but it's that heartleaf Hoya. And again, super thick stem. I did not trellis it in time, so it's on a stick that goes up to here, but it's doing its thing. I don't even care anymore at this point. And then right here, we have another Philodendron White Knight. This one I got because of the little baby, oh gosh, come on, little baby plant down there. And then it actually had a lot of reverted leaves, but then it gave me that and gave me a little bit there and a little bit there. So I'm hoping it will give me more variegation, but we have a little baby as well. Behind that, we have the Monstera Peru. This is another OG plant of mine. I love this plant, but honestly, it really just wants to put out runners, even though I have it staked up, and it just doesn't seem to size up its leaves. So, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Maybe if it was on a better pole, but not too bad. And then right next to that, we have Philodendron Florida Ghost. This is the regular ghost. It's not like the minty ghost. Remember how I said I had a Florida Ghost mint? But as you guys can see, so the leaves come out. This one's more minty, but they actually will come out like bright white, and then they'll fade and get chlorophyll, and they'll eventually turn green. So that's why it's like definitely like a topic of discussion, because the Florida Ghost mint doesn't seem to really be a thing. Like, they all get kind of minty at some point, but whatever. Actually, I will say, so this one starts down there, goes all the way up here. This one, these leaves were white for like the longest time, so I will say that was really nice, but they're just now turning. And right here we have a Monstera dubia. Got this as a little cutie climbing, and then it actually eventually turned into 2 vines. It is a shingling plant, which means it will grow and have its leaves root flat across, flat against the pole or plank. And then you guys can see the leaves kind of size up as it does that. But then it outgrew the pole, and I hate extending these poles, so I need to take it off and put it on a better pole. It's all the way over here. I actually cut this today. This was a runner that was going so far. So yeah, Monstera dubia. I love the young version of this plant because you can get this pattern and texture. As they mature, honestly, they get less of this. So I think I prefer the younger version of this plant, but I would also love to see it size up as it shingles. Okay, right here we have an Anthurium Timplaumanii. Super cute, super basic. And next to it, we have the Anthurium, I think it's a Corallinum, pretty sure. I might be wrong, but pretty sure it's Corallinum. Really similar to the Timplaumanii, but different, and I love them both. And then we have the Philodendron tortum. This is actually 2 plants that I had acquired as like freebies, and then I potted them up together into 1 pot of tortum. This plant gets really wide, so I know I'm gonna regret that in the future, but so cute at this size. And then we already talked about my squamiferum. Down here we have 4 pots of the elbow syngonium. These are props from my mother plant that was all the way over there. So those are doing really good. My mother plant just had such good variegation genetics. So I'm either gonna share, sell, or pot these together in a new pot. And then this is the Syngonium chiapense, different from the macrophyllum I showed you in the plant room. You can see it's very much so, it's more wide and heart-shaped. The macrophyllum was more narrow, but they still have that same matte leaf texture. Here we have a something, starts with an X. This thing like just doesn't grow. It's actually like rotting a little bit. I don't know, I have a love-hate relationship with that. And then we have a Sansevieria whale fin, which was super exciting. That was a big box store find. And then it put out a little pup. So that was exciting. And then next to that, we have this plant stand with a Philodendron golden dragon. You guys know I'm not a fan of Philodendron golden dragon, not unless it like had a mature leaf shape, but I haven't been able to get it to do that in like the couple years I've had it. And this is a prop from my mother plant that I gave away, but I don't know, I don't even like it, to be honest. And now it's, my prop is growing out of control, clearly. And then next to that, I have my Philodendron bipenifolium. This was a cutting from my mother plant. I don't need multiples of this plant either. Again, like these are just so similar, so basic. I don't need them. And then I have a different Aglaonema. I don't remember the name of it, but I actually had a big pot and I split it into 2 because I wanted to let it like grow and get big and size up. So I'm kind of glad that I split it up into 2. And eventually maybe I'll put them back in 1 pot, but I don't know. And then we have a Syngonium lance leaf. Love this plant. This thing actually hated being in an IKEA cabinet, and it loves being a floor plant like randomly right here. Like this is actually the spot where it's grown to be big. So yeah, lance leaf. I used to hate it. Now I actually love it. And then we just have a green Congo that I saved from Walmart like 3 years ago. And it's stunning. And then we have a Monstera deliciosa. This was the sport variegation find. You guys can see how there's a little bit of splotchiness. I'm trying to think where else we saw that. I don't know, but regardless, variegated or not, it is beautiful. And it's our side table plant, but I don't know. I just love a healthy Monstera, whether it's variegated or not. But yeah, you guys, so that would be all of the plants over here. Oh my God, wait, the hanging ones. Sorry, I almost forgot. We have an array, Hargirius, I think, Syndapsis. Loving the low light there. And then we have one of my favorites. It's a Hoya obovata. It's not even like the super splashy version, but this thing was on my Hoya curtain rod, and I actually untrellised it, and I didn't realize how long it was. So I love it. Now it's just hanging. And then we have a Snow Queen pothos, where it's like all white and speckled with like green variegation. Love it. Hanging on a macrame. And then we have my OG Philodendron micans. This is from a bunch of cuttings, which is just excited. I potted a ton of cuttings up to be a big plant, and now it's just super trailing. This one is a newer one of a bunch of cuttings that I took from that one. And so this one eventually will get just as long as that one. And it's love and life. Micans, these didn't really grow until I pulled them away from the window. So if you're having a hard time, give your micans a little less light. I think they're definitely like a medium light plant. They don't want bright light. But yeah, like this one is loving it, and I can't believe that it was just like cuttings. All right, so we finally got all those. I'm gonna go quick again because it's getting dark and my phone's kind of dying, but this is like our little cozy nook area. We still have yet to fix the TV stand, but whatever. Over here, I'm gonna do this really quick. So we have one of my absolute favorite anthuriums, my first anthurium. It is the Anthurium veitchii. I love this plant. It actually was variegated at one point, which was crazy. It was like one leaf, so whatever. But my cat, Willow, our kitten, has been obsessed with biting it lately. So I actually already had to cut a leaf off, but I think this one's bent from me walking in this area. But I've physically seen Willow like chomp on this, just like a bite too, not even like wanting to eat it. It's crazy, but it's such a wide plant, so this was like the perfect spot for it. And then let's go over here. We have my Philodendron mayoi, which I love. It actually fell over and snapped, but it's still growing. So I think I'm just gonna cut it there because it already had put out a new stem and growth point. And then we have another stem on this side that has literally grown all the way over here. So I'm definitely just gonna like cut that at some point. And then next to it, we have the Philodendron bipenifolium. You guys have seen in my previous video, you saw how big the leaves got, and then the cat knocked it over and it snapped. I literally chopped it on camera. But yeah, so this is the mother plant where that other prop in the plant stand was from. It sized up like crazy. And then, like I said, I had to cut off the massive leaves. But now I have them propagating, which is fun. And it put out, we have two stems here. But then we start over with baby growth, so whatever. Next to it, we have a propagation, which is my Philodendron Splendid. Love this plant, you guys. It's so easy. This is a good example of the fact that this plant does not need to grow in a cabinet, and you can still get that velvety, veiny leaf. Such a good philodendron. Philodendron Splendid. I put 2 props in one pot so that they could both climb and get bushy. And obviously now they're facing the window. But yeah. And then next to that, we have a really sad Anthurium Cocobamba. I took this out of the cabinet and highly regret it. Like it hated it. So we do have a leaf on the way, which is so cute. I love this plant, but I think I gotta put it back in a cabinet. Then we have a nice orchid from Dino's sister. It's putting out a new leaf. And we have a twisted variegated Sansevieria. I think it was literally called just like twisted Sansevieria. And it has some new growth there. Right here we have an upright Philodendron Lemon Lime. It is not the Moonlight. And we actually have another growth point right there. But yeah, this thing is a monster. It's pretty crazy. It is really tall, really bushy and full. The leaves come out yellow and then they'll fade to green. I know the Moonlight does something similar, but it is not the Philodendron Moonlight. It is an upright lemon lime. All right, we're almost done in this section. This is an Epipremnum aurea, which is what my cuttings are from. This is the mother plant. You guys see how big these leaves are, but the variegation isn't really there. So it's kind of a bummer. It kind of reverted, but I got it when it was already on a pole, and yeah, it's doing good. But I don't know, I wish I had more of that aurea variegation. And then we have this. I had to put wide lens on. This is my Philodendron Gloriosum. This thing is iconic. It is one of my absolute favorite plants, but it's not doing so good. I love it. Like, look how big this leaf is. It's a massive pot, but honestly, ever since we moved it here, it used to be right there and it would get the sunlight from the balcony door. Ever since we moved it here, we have a grow light, but obviously like everything is turning and growing every which way. And then it has a hard time hardening off and it gets too close. And then it's just like, I don't know. I'm so sad. I need to figure out what to do. I think it might have some spider mites, so I do need to give it a good clean down. But it is, I don't know, we have a strand crawling that way, and we have a strand crawling this way in a circle pot, and then everything is going every which way. I miss when it all was facing one direction, so I don't know. I think I need to do something else, put this somewhere else, or get a better lamp, maybe. I don't know. And then up here we have a Syndapsis Splash, Silver Splash. Definitely not Silver Lady. I think it's just Syndapsis Silver Splash. Different from the Exotica, different from the Silver Lady, but super similar. But I love it. And I love how full it is and trailing. I've already given her a chop so many times, but just love it. Then we can do these ones real quick. Here we have my other Hoya Macrophylla elbow. The elbow has definitely faded. I think this plant does better in higher humidity personally, because I'm not getting a ton of variegation even though it's in front of a south-facing window. And yeah, I don't know, my other one does way better. This is just like one big Hoya curtain rod. Here we have my Hoya linearis. I love this plant. If you don't have this one, you guys, you got to get this one. It is just such a good change of texture, change of scenery. I love that it's actually a different leaf shape than your typical Hoya. So seriously, you guys, highly recommend the linearis. Then we have a Hoya latifolia. This plant has bloomed and flowered for me so many times. Such an easy plant, especially if you're really wanting a Hoya for the blooms. I recommend this one. This one bloomed for me right away, and it gave me like five blooms at once. And then here we have the Hoya compacta. This is just the regular one. It's also known as a Hoya Hindu rope, but that Hindu rope it's a derogatory term, so we don't say that. But yeah, this is my first ever Hoya. I got it at Walmart forever ago, and ever since then I was convinced. I was hooked on Hoyas, and I'm so proud that I actually purchased it. Everything was kind of like this length, and in my care it has grown so much. I'm kind of proud of that versus my variegated one. My variegated one I love, but I purchased it trailing, you know what I mean? So I love that at least that one I grew it to that point. This one I purchased this way. But this one's beautiful. It had an all white strand, but that died off because there was just no chlorophyll to be found, and it just dried out a little bit, but still just so stunning. I love this one, and it gets just like pink leaves, white leaves, all of that. I skipped by this one, but this one is just a typical Hoya australis. Definitely an OG Hoya. And then I have this one, which I love. This is the Hoya Crimson Princess, but it's different than the normal Crimson Princess because the leaves are more like a Chelsea round leaf. So normally the princess is like skinny narrow leaves, but this one is not. But I snatched this up when I saw it. So yeah, I love it. It is so full. It is so trailing. Like, I just honestly love this entire Hoya curtain rod. Seriously, goals. And my obavata that's over there used to be over here, and then I used to do this. I used to have the leaves like climbing the top of it, but then I took it down. So yeah. On the coffee table we have a little plant there, and we have the same one over here. Dino and I got matching plants when we first started dating, and now we live together, so we have two, and it'd be cute to pot them up. Also, we have a sweet tooth, don't judge. And then I have another Snow Queen marble pothos, so you can tell I love that plant. So yeah, that is this area, and I'm sorry, I know I went really quick, but it is getting dark out, so I had to, and my phone wants to die. So yeah, but that's this little area. Now we're gonna go over here. All right, I'm gonna start right here because these grow lights will eventually turn off. I'll go a little quick too, just because there's a lot. Right here is my mother plant and my philodendron Billy ATA. Told you guys in my plant room tour that I don't love how funky and crazy this one has started getting. Like, look at this. Because it literally goes towards the light, and I don't know, you guys. I don't love it. I'll probably get rid of it. Next to it, we have a silver amplissumum. It is beautiful. It was a big box store Home Depot find, and it came with a pole, and there's multiple vines, and it's just so simple and so pretty. I love it. And then down here, we have my prayer plant. Why am I blanking on the name? Oh, it's a lemon lime maranta. Sorry, you guys. Lemon lime maranta, and clearly my epipremnum is just like, what? Oh, that is fun. Didn't see that. This is a propagation I had from my mother plant, and I potted it together. A couple props. Oh, there's a baby leaf. Cool. All right, and then we have this one. This is a peperomia tuboensis. I love this one, you guys. I wish it was a little bit less finicky, but it is like, come on, focus. But it's got like a silvery, sparkly leaf. So I love it, but honestly, it does not love me. It has gone, it's definitely dropped a lot of leaves. It definitely doesn't want to dry out. And then right here, another plant that I don't know if I love. I think it's supposed to be, oh God, the grow lights. The grow lights really got this one. I think it's supposed to be like a snowdrift or something, but it's reverted. Yeah, I don't know, probably get rid of this one. And then here we have propagation cuttings from my Synapsis trubii. Really pretty. So I'll probably give this one away as a gift at some point because I don't need multiples. And then you guys can see this is also a crystal shelf, just so you know. Right here, we have the Anthurium pterodactyl. This was a big box store find. One of my most popular big box store shopping videos. You guys freaked out about this one. So she's doing good in just her normal conditions. And then we have another Synapsis argyrius. I had like a mother plant that struggled, and so this is a cutting from that as well as that. So these two cuttings came before I got a different hanging basket of it because I was trying to save it basically, but kind of like having a little pot of that. Next to it, we have an Anthurium Big Bill. It is already outgrowing its space. It's a strappy Anthurium, super easy. It's not velvety or anything, so honestly it does totally fine being out in normal conditions versus some other Anthuriums definitely need humidity. And then we have the Philodendron Jeppy, I don't know. We have that next to it, and it's doing good. This one is also one that is a funky grower, so, oh, my grow lights just turned off. I'll have to turn them on. So yeah, I don't know. I gotta find a really good spot for it so it doesn't get as bad as this. All right, I got my grow lights back on, but yeah, that's the Philodendron Jeppy. And then right here, we have the Anthurium falcatum. I love this leaf shape. This one does very well not being in a cabinet. However, I believe it does have spider mites, so I need to clean her. And then, like I said, another Synapsis argyrius propagation. And then we have this one. I forgot what this one is. This is a mystery philodendron. It has not really grown much. Then we are up here. This is a Philodendron adibapense. I love this one because it's silver on the front and red on the back. But yeah, I love it. It comes out just so beautiful. And I actually love I have a baby plant of this. It gets big. It's really similar to the Philodendron biliaceae, but yeah, I love this one. Actually, this one was so underrated for so long. And then back here, oh gosh, what is this one? Forgot the name of this Hoya. Starts with a B. No, I don't remember, you guys. I don't remember the name of this Hoya. I am sorry, but it's cute. It's bubbly. It trails. This one is stunning. This is a Philodendron White Wizard. This is from Forest. I ordered this one online and they picked out just the most stunning variegated one for me. Like, I am obsessed with this plant, and there's actually a baby in there too. And then right here, we have the Philodendron Burrow Marks variegated. I told you in the plant room I hated the non-variegated version, and that's because this is what it looked like. This is what it was supposed to be. This is what it looked like, and then it reverted on me. So I took one node cutting and grew this whole plant. It grows like a weed. It's such an easy grower, but legit, you guys, look. One node right down there. One node cutting, and it's a whole bush. So I love this version. I'm keeping this, but I think I'm gonna get rid of the reverted one. Then right here we have a variegated Monstera Peru. Frickin' love this, but it puts out runners just like the normal Peru. So I gotta cut the runner, and then I think I need to actually put it on a pole and keep giving it bright light so that it doesn't fade the variegation. And then last but not least on this shelf, we have a Philodendron Summer Glory. This one, you guys, it comes out as like a bright orangey, pinky color, and then it'll fade. And it's basically the cross between a Gloriosum and something else, I forgot. But it's not like velvety like a gloriosum, but it has that crawling growth pattern and then the shape and the veins like it does. I just forgot what else it's crossed with. But yeah, I love that it comes out like an orange color. And then here are all my crystals. Oh, and then this is a propagation from my curly spider plant in the plant room. Right here we have a Hoya Wilbur Graves. It's not as splashy as you might know the Wilbur Graves as. I think it's a different variety, but nonetheless, look at how stunning it is all the way down here. This is one that I had in the Detolf on the top shelf with the panel light, and that is how it got to be so long. Now you guys know I'm not kidding. Get those lights, you guys. They're amazing for Hoyas. And then back there, we have a Ficus shiveriana baby. I got that for free. And then I told you guys I had a bone to pick with the variegated Philodendron domesticum. This is what it should look like. This is a propagation from that mother plant that is like reverted. So you guys see how stunning this is? I do love this plant, but it is just so prone to reverting. Can't believe half the leaves look like this and half the leaves look like this. Yeah, but it's, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. That's honestly a tricky plant. And then back here we have my variegated Aglaonema cortatum, something like that. I need to take this out of here because it does not fit. It's having a hard time opening leaves because it is being blocked by the shelf. But look, it's putting out 3 leaves at once. Is that not wild? It's so crazy. Also, it's not so variegated anymore. I need to do something about that. And then we're almost done on this shelf. This is a Philodendron Pink Princess. This was, again, big box store find. This one has more variegation, I think. Kind of. This one is already outgrowing the shelf, but you can tell it's tissue culture because there's like 1,000 plants in this pot, you guys. That's so crazy. And then hidden in the clearing, we have my Hoya Croniana Splash. It's not the super silver, it's the splash. So now I have the Hoya Croniana Black, the Hoya Croniana Splash, and later on you guys will see my Hoya Croniana Super Silver. So pretty. I just wanted her to kind of like trail, you know? Even though she kind of gets covered by a pothos. And we have some crystals back there. That is that shelf. And then up here, we have an Anthurium Bessier. I have a bunch of vintage cameras too. But yeah, this one hates me. It only was happy when it lived in a cabinet, but look at it, you guys. It outgrew the cabinet. There's just no way. I need to get a humidifier on it. And then also I need to stop forgetting to water it. There is growth coming, but this thing does not want to dry out and it's barely hanging on. And then we have another, actually I think this is my OG, my original Snow Queen Pothos. If you guys are OG followers of my Instagram, this was the Snow Queen Pothos that was hanging in my bathroom at my parents' house in a hanging basket. Now look at it. Is that not crazy? It has gotten so long. I have definitely chopped it to get all the other ones that you guys have seen so far. This was so bald at the top, and then I had it sit right here and it got light from that grow light and it totally filled in at the top. So it is possible. But yeah, anyways, these two plants get light from this grow light, which has my pothos, my mandula. Remember how I said I had that massive mandula totem pole? Well, you guys, look at how long that is. Isn't it funky? I'm going to chop it here because when I last chopped it, it put out this branch and it's starting to do this one. And because this grow light is so strong, this is just like a grow light from the big box store. It is like really making these leaves size up and get really nice variegation. So highly recommend. But yeah, this thing was not growing, and the moment I put it in here in this fixture with the light, it just popped off. Now over here, I'll get to that in a sec, but I have another fixture. These light fixtures are from Lost in the Forest. You can get them, you know, probably at other places too. And then the grow bulbs are just from like Home Depot or Lowe's. I have my lemon lime philodendron cordatum or hederaceum or whatever it's called. It's a heartleaf philodendron, but it's lemon lime. So that's why when we were over there, I said that's the upright lemon lime philodendron. This is the other lemon lime philodendron. So pretty. I love this plant. It's one of my favorites. New leaves come out as like a bright pink, as you can see, and then they get like orangey, and then they get yellow and green. So you just get like a beautiful gradient of colors with this plant. It's so pretty. This also used to be one strand, but I kept chopping it back and it kept filling in. Okay. You guys love my little air freshener plug-in? This is interesting. This is my propagation area with different recycled jars. Where to start? So remember how I said my mother plant in my Jose Buono snapped and broke off and now it's a stump? These are the leaves from it. These are all the leaves, you guys. It's in multiple jars. Like my entire plant that I had for so long snapped at the base. So imagine I had to cut like 10 plus nodes. So starting over with her, but looks like we already got roots. So that's exciting. And then let's see. Well, right next to it, we have, again, you see this is like a bouquet of Syngonium elbow, because I completely chopped up my mother plant. Like it was growing like crazy and I chopped it all the way back, and now it has all this new growth. Again, amazing genetics. It's an like all white leaf. These are definitely rooted and ready to be potted up. I just haven't gotten there yet, but it's my little bouquet of Syngonium elbow. And then look, this is my massive philodendron bipennifolium that I said the cat snapped in half. That one over there. Yeah, this is what it was. So I was so sad, and so I had to cut it. And so all the mature leaves that I worked so hard for, I had to chop off. So I hope that these will root and that I can make a big plant, because I love it when it's like this. I'm not a fan of it when it's like this. This is also a philodendron bipennifolium. It's just not mature. So yeah, this is what I want. And then also in here we have one pink Syngonium. I don't even know. Oh, it's rooted. Is it? Is it seriously rooted? Wow, I think it's rooted. I just threw that in there. And then my Amidrium silver, had to chop that too. So whole hodgepodge. I don't even know what this is, to be honest. Oh, I think it might be Paraiso Verde. Yeah, I don't like that plant. I should just throw that away. And then, yeah, just a whole mix of other philodendrons that I've been propping. So I won't go through all of them, but you guys, when I said that I had 311 plants, that's not including any of this. Like, oh my God, it's so crazy. But yeah, this is my little prop area and our coffee machines here. And yeah, I love this area of our apartment. So now we're gonna go back over here. Sorry to jump around. I'll go quick. This is my Florida green, or also known as like Florida red stem, because the petiole gets a little red, but you can see like the stem, it gets woody. So basically it's in a massive pot, and I put it on poles so that it would size up. But the thing is, the internode spacing is so big. So like I have that whole jar on the table of propagation so I can fill it in, hopefully. And yeah, it literally already had outgrown the pole, and it was actually touching our ceiling. So I chopped it back, and it's now putting out a new growth point. which sucks. I wish I wasn't putting it out there. I want it to activate one like down here so that it would fill in, but that is the Florida green. And then next to it we have the philodendron El Choco Red, however you want to say it. I love this plant, but it is a slow grower. But look at these leaves. They are so velvety and pillowy and so big. I love it, but I really hate that I put it on this moss pole. I hate that moss pole. It's not cute. It is angled, but whatever. It is what it is. It used to be more full and bushy. Like, we had a lot more little baby leaves, but it didn't tolerate drying out. But you guys can see how chonky the stem is. Yeah, it's crazy. I really wish it would fill out or activate a growth point down here, but all good. Very cute, very pretty. Lastly, over here, we have my philodendron gigas or gigas, however you want to say it. I love this one. It grows so funky. This is in the way. But look at how beautiful. It's just dark and velvety, and it kind of grows in a zigzag pattern. I love it. I'm bummed because when I finally got it on a good pole was up here. So now it's sizing up its leaves up here, but it's already outgrowing the pole. So I should prop it and, you know, fill it in hopefully. But yeah, that is the philodendron gigas. So that is that area. They all get light from these clip-on grow lights. I need to move them. This, you know, we have our cat tower and stuff. I think I'm actually gonna clip those lights on the shelf right there. I just gotta find time to do it. Over here, we have one of my favorite. This is a philodendron goldii. I believe it's actually though a thaumatophyllum, pretty sure. It did just put out a new leaf. I was worried that when we moved it here, it wasn't gonna get enough light. But honestly, like, it gets light from the window, the cabinet, those lights, like, it just kind of gets light. I don't know. So it's actually doing good. It's put out multiple leaves since we had moved it here, and it's loby. And normally when I first got this, it only had 3 lobes. Now look at it. It's got like almost 10. But yeah, I love it. And I love that it's right here. It just has the space to stretch out. And then we also have a philodendron. Oh no, what is this? Is this a mame? Do I have multiple mames? Oh, something rojo. Oh my gosh, I know this. So like, look, the back of the petiole has a little bit of redness. I think it's mame rojo or something like that. I definitely did a comparison video on this one time on Instagram, but anywho, another crawler. It's right there, kind of just temporarily because it was in the way, but yeah. I have to show you how cute Willow is. This is her favorite spot. She's gotten so big. Can't believe she's a little kitten. She's only like 4 months old, 5 months old. She is knocked out. Okay, so those plants are actually sitting on a cheap propagation tray, and then they're sitting on a plant stand. This is what that terrarium was on from the Hilton Carter collection at Target, but yeah, we just kind of made do with it. And then we have another Monstera deliciosa. This one, can you guys tell that I don't really love this? Because look, one stem is growing that way and just not well. The other stem, we had it staked up, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's unwell. I need to do something. Like, it's growing. It's definitely growing, but it is struggling. And honestly, for the longest time, Willow, our kitten right here, she just kept eating this. You guys see? This was the newest leaf, and she just kept eating it, even while it was unfurled. I'm surprised it even unfurled, but yeah. So I don't know. We gotta figure out what to do with this, because honestly, I love the Monstera deliciosa right there way more. And then if you remember, we have one on the floor over there too. So I don't know, I might give this one away or gift it. We'll see. Then over here we have a philodendron silver sword. This one has like 3 or 4 vines within it, and I had forgotten about it for a while, so it stunted the size of the leaves. But I actually chopped it. You guys see? I chopped it and it put out this little baby stem. So yeah, I gotta extend the pole or something, but it's cute. It's struggling a little bit because it got beat up. But yeah, it's my little silver sword. I got this at Target like for 15 bucks. Isn't that crazy? All right, let's get into these. Okay, I'm not actually gonna open this cabinet, and I'm just gonna briefly talk about it. I found thrips on the alocasia right there, and then I saw them spread to that plant and this plant, and I'm pretty sure by the looks of the leaf that Hoya. So I'm actually not going to open this cabinet because so far it's been contained in there. It really sucks because I love the plants that are in here. I don't know how I got thrips because I didn't really have anything new coming into this area, but it is what it is. So just like rapid fire, back there we have the, we have the Philodendron Goldii mint. It is literally the mint version of this, which I really, really hope I can save that. And then we have a Hoya acuta variegata. We have a mystery no ID anthurium. This honestly has always been struggling. This might be the thrip culprit, to be honest. And then right here we have one of my props of that I'm gonna say is a philodendron gabby, because look at that leaf, you guys. But it was the cream splash plant that I took a cutting from. Then we have a variegated alocasia that was grown from corm. It is also the same as this one. I forgot the type of alocasia. I think it starts with an M. And then right here, I saved and rerooted my Hoya Bella Louis Bois. I think that's how you say it. I saved it by rerooting it in moss. And look at it, it's doing great. But now it is in Thrip City. And then we have, oh man, why can't I remember the name of this one? It's not that uncommon. I don't remember, but it gets like a red-orange sunstress, if you guys remember. I'm not gonna look at the tag, but yeah, we have a Hoya there. Up here, we have some anthuriums. We do have like a blue forgetii. Sorry, I know it's not great. We also have this one. This is the Warocqueanum esmeralda. I love this one. I haven't seen a thrip yet on it though, so I'm praying. And then we have a Magnificum forgetii, or maybe it's like a blue forgetii Magnificum. And then in the back there, I think that was, what one was that? Oh yeah, no ID. So this one has no ID, but it gives me crystallinum vibes. If you can tell, back there we have another, I'll say Gabby or cream splash philodendron. And then I hate that this is in this cabinet. We have my variegated jade syndapsis in there. So I really hope it doesn't get thrips. But it did get a runner because it actually goes all the way right there. So you see that vine? Yeah, I definitely gotta save that one because I love that one. Down here, I have not one Anthurium clarinervium, but 2, but they are struggling. I might pot them up together. Probably. I need to save them really bad. Then we have an Anthurium Warocqueanum Waterburyanum cross, I believe. I think so. Just looking at that leaf shape, you know? And sorry, you guys, I know. I'm not opening, I haven't cleaned this cabinet and I don't want to open the door just because of like the whole thrip thing. But yeah, so bear with me. We have a Hoya fungii propagation from my mother plant. We have a Philodendron glorious that is finally sizing up. That's a gloriosum mixed with either melanochrysum, I think so. Anyways, so that one is finally sizing up. It was a baby. Like I said, that's a clarinervium. And then we have a big Hoya. I don't even know the name of it, you guys, but it just put out this massive leaf, because you guys can see that runner is going all the way up the cabinet. But yeah, I love that Hoya. It just has like the biggest leaf ever. So yeah, I'm sorry that this one wasn't as detailed of a cabinet tour of the plants in here. It's just, I know for a fact multiple plants in that middle shelf have thrips, and I just don't want to open it, touch it, and then risk touching other plants and spreading it or anything. And like I said, I got some anthuriums that are really struggling down there, so I'm gonna have to pick a time to totally clean this cabinet and treat the plants. But yeah, this is the Millsbo Tall. Again, it has the same handles. Dino got those handles for us, and it stays at about 80% humidity, but it has a couple fans in there. So yeah, that is the Millsbo Tall in our living room. All right, you guys, so that would be all of the plants in our dining room, living room, entry area. It's all one big open room, as you saw, and I am gonna actually go quick have dinner with a friend, and then, oh, Rory's sneezing. I'm actually gonna quick go have dinner with a friend, and then I'm going to film our master bedroom plants, and then we'll be done with the tour. This has taken me literally all day, you guys, so thank you for sticking with me. And I'm sad that the lighting, like the sun went down, so the lighting wasn't that great for this area, and I know the bedroom, like, it's not gonna be that great, but I have a light and I will do the best I can. So thank you guys for sticking with me through this whole thing. All right, you guys, I'm back from dinner, hanging out with my friend Ari. It's currently 12:20 a.m. And I really just want to get through this tour, so let's finish it up. We are in the master bedroom, the only other bedroom, and I'm just gonna quickly go through what we have for plants. So from the door, this is kind of the view. Sorry about the quality, because obviously the lighting is really low. And then closet, I have a bathroom. But yeah, so let's start over there, I would say. So we have like a bunch of my crystals. And then in here, I'm actually not gonna open the cabinet door, because the issue with it is that the nightstand actually blocks it, so it only opens up this much. And with this being right here, you guys, like, I really gotta reach in. So I'm not gonna do that. It's way easier to show you guys through the glass. So this is a Rudsa Tall IKEA cabinet, and we did the weather stripping, the grow lights, all that fun stuff. Starting up top here, we have the other portion of the Anthurium forgetii. I showed you guys the other baby plant of this that was in my detail in the plant room. So actually that one and this one were combined in one pot, but I was like, there's so many plants in this pot, and I chose to split them up and put them in different environments. And then we have an Anthurium pallidiflorum here. It is hanging down. It's curling up. I think it actually needs water, even though I just watered it. But yeah, we have a leaf there, leaf there, leaf there. I love it, but you guys can see it is definitely outgrowing its space. So I need to acclimate it and have it live outside the cabinet. And then right next to that, we have an Anthurium silver blush. I love the silver on these leaves, you guys. And in the middle, it just, I don't know. I love this plant so much. It had a couple leaves die off because of watering, but we do have a new one on the way, which is so exciting. And then you also can see it's like growing towards the edge of the pot, which is kind of funny. Might need a repot really soon. And then let's see, in the way back, we have a stump. That would be this cutie. That's the Anthurium warocqueanum that is like basically dying. Just by the looks of the stump, you guys can see that it has had so many leaves and it's grown, but this plant only wants to have 1 or 2 leaves at a time for me, and then I'll do this. It'll just start shriveling up and die. Even like I checked it for pests, it doesn't have pests. It's just like a watering humidity thing. This cabinet gets to barely 70 and it really just doesn't tolerate anything. Next to that, we have the Anthurium Saronii. It's another strappy anthurium, which I really like, and it's actually got really nice leaves. It's really similar to the Vitarifolium, but just smaller leaves, I think. Although, you know what, I'm sure when it's mature it might be different, but yeah, you guys can see how it grows. That's the Anthurium Saronii. And then right here we have a baby Anthurium Vitarifolium. It's a small pot, small plant, small pot, so it really doesn't want to dry out, and it really uses up that water and moisture so quickly. So this one did not do well when it had a little bit of a drought period. There are 2 plants in this pot, but you can see it's struggling. So yeah, and also I opened the door, it was so hard to see, but yeah, you guys can see this was my anthurium cabinet, but a lot of my anthuriums grew out of it, and I don't know, they just aren't loving the conditions. I gotta figure it out, honestly, and figure out something else to do with this cabinet, especially because of the issue of just kind of like getting to it and accessing it. But yeah, that is the Rudsta Tall. And by the way, this cabinet does have a magnetic backside too, like the Rudsta Wide. So from there, we got on the bed and we are looking at everything up here. Here is the Hoya Croniana Super Silver. I told you guys before, I have the Hoya Croniana Black, the Hoya Croniana Splash, and now you can see I have the crazy super silver. It's literally just all silver. It's so dusty right now just because like of how high this is the Modern Sprout grow frame, and it's practically touching the ceiling. So a lot of dust can collect up here from the vent. And then next to that, we actually, oh my gosh, no way. Oh my God, the roots. You guys, the roots have attached to the wall. Oh my God. Shit. I'm gonna have to address that because I rent and I don't want that to happen again. Oh, flowers. Anyways, wow, okay. Well, this is, what even is this? This is a watermelon Dischidia. What you can see is it's actually a green plant. I love the texture on here, but then it sun stresses and almost acts like a Hoya. So it gets these pink and purple leaves. It's very beautiful. Honestly, all of my plants that are in this grow frame, because of how strong the lights are, they are just trailing and growing like crazy, and they get a lot of sun stressing from those lights. So I love Modern Sprout. I highly recommend. But yeah, it's actually in this really small pot there, but it's just growing like crazy and clearly has rooted a little bit into the wall. I wonder, yeah. So you guys can see, this is what I worry about because we're renting. I try to not let any of my plants, yeah, I did it a couple times. I try to not let any of my plants go onto the wall because I don't want them to root on there and, oh my God, a fungus gnat, and ruin the walls. Like, I'm lucky that I caught this and it wasn't any issue, but if this was like a pothos, like those roots will freaking go into the sheetrock. But yeah, look at the flowers. A lot of flowers, a lot of plants up here, especially my Hoya Croniana Super Silver has flowered so many times. This is my Hoya Bella, just the regular green one. I've showed you guys the Louis Bois, and this one flowered for me for the first time. That was exciting. And then I have Hoya Sunrise. So this one, as you can see here, it's a green plant, but again, as a Hoya, when it sun stresses, it gets beautiful red, orange leaves. This one's actually a pretty full pot. Full pot. Oh gosh, I hope it didn't do the same thing. Looks like it kind of tried to, but couldn't. Yeah, I think I should like take all these out actually at some point and hose them down and make sure they're not adhering to my wall. Anywho, I've given this plant actually haircuts, so this one's doing really good. It's actually all the way up here. Look at that. These at some point are definitely going to outgrow this space. I think it already might be there. Same with the Bertonier. Looks like that one is all the way up there. So yeah, this is the Hoya Bertonier. I don't know if it's like SP or what, but it is growing like crazy. This one will sunstress, a very beautiful color as well, but I don't think mine is. I think it could get like a purpley color, but yeah, Hoya Bertonier, and it's trailing so much. Yeah, it's so crazy. So yeah, there is my modern sprout grow frame full of Hoyas, and it's trailing. And so honestly, like above our bed, I just love it. It's such a good accent piece. And I love that, like, I don't know, it comes with a grow light, so we didn't have to worry about finding a shelf and then putting grow lights on it or whatever. Like, it's just so nice. And this is actually a deep planter. You could technically plant right into the grow frame, but I didn't because, for instance, like this, I'm gonna want to take all these out and hose them down and clean them and everything. So that's why I like it, and that's why I don't plant into things. So it's just easier to clean. Okay, now we are at the Millsbow Tall. This is the second one that we own. And so you can see we didn't do the special leaf handles like we did on the other one in the living room. But yeah, let's go through these. It's kind of a hot mess in here, particularly mainly on the top shelf, but that's okay. I'm gonna do these ones fairly quick. So back there we have a propagation of the Burrow Marks Fantasy. You guys can see it's just so pretty. We've seen multiples of these already. I do props because I really like to share this one with friends. And then in front of it, we have a variegated Hoya Heuschkelleriana, and it is growing off the shelf. I think I'm gonna trellis this Hoya. But honestly, for a while, it was only like up to there, and it would not grow. So then once I popped it in the cabinet with humidity and light, it finally started trailing and growing. So I think I'm gonna give her a trellis. She's cute. And then right here, you guys, this is so bizarre. It is totally wrapping around this plant. Okay, I got this Black Friday of last year, and it has grown quite literally so weird and funky, you guys. What is this? This is like called, I think, like a peperomia, like lightning bolt or something. I don't know. It's like a reflective peperomia, but it just gets these crazy shiny reflective leaves that are sparkly. You guys see that? This clearly this stick has not supported it, but yeah, that's a weird one. We'll see if I keep it. It kind of looks like a tree, but it just grows so weird. Also, you guys, this cabinet, I will say, is dirty. Like, look at, do you guys see all that crap down there? So don't mind that, because I did not clean this before we started filming. Yeah, this thing like doesn't even want to stand straight up. So I'm just gonna go like that. And then because this is like in front of our faces, this is a Monstera dubia cutting, and it actually is coming from back there. Right here, we have my variegated Monstera lectulariana. I love this plant. It is stunning. It is variegated, like it's an elbow, a white variegation. The stem, you guys see it has really good genetics, good variegation patterning on the stem. And then yeah, the roots, like look at that root. They're growing like crazy. So I need to get this thing on a pole though, because it didn't put out a leaf at that node, and I think it just needs a support. Oh my gosh, wait, you guys look. This is a dubia, and it's trying to like kind of shingle back there. This is part of that as well. That's so crazy. So again, you guys, I'm so sorry. This is messy. Everything is just a hot mess, but that's why we're gonna go kind of quick. The last two plants on the shelf would be this philodendron red Anderson, whose roots are pretty wild. I love the red Anderson. It's like a pink princess, but then it gets the white variegation. So actually this half moon was half white. And like the white seems to fade to a pink and a red. There you can kind of see that it's white, but yeah, red Anderson with some crazy roots. By the way, this cabinet sits at like 82. And then, oh my God, look, more dubia. Yeah, note to self, you guys, don't put 3 cuttings of dubia in a pot because it'll just grow everywhere. Literally everywhere. Anyways, last but not least on this shelf, we actually have a baby Florida Beauty. Do you guys see down there the variegation? So this was a part of that big plant that I have in the dining room area. But it was such a tiny, small baby. Like, this stuff wasn't even sprouted yet. And I was like, I think I'm gonna separate it into a little pot that it can grow into. So yeah, that is the top shelf. Again, I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm not gonna stop apologizing. It was so messy. So now we're in the second shelf. This is actually probably one of my favorite shelves of my collection because it is so clean and put together. Right here, we have the Epiprenum marble. I will say, you guys, this is such a slow growing plant. I do kind of wish I had one that was already fenestrated and climbing. I'll probably eventually look for that when prices come down, but yeah, she's just hanging out there. And then right here we have the star of the show. This is my variegated Alocasia Frydek. Wow, this leaf has so much mint on it. It's actually really crazy. And this is one plant that just doesn't stop growing for me. It will only have 3 to 4 leaves at a time, like the typical non-variegated Frydek, but I don't care. It actually then helps me have it like fit in this cabinet, and every leaf just gives you something different. There's another leaf back there. Like, isn't that crazy? I love that every single leaf is unique. I love the variegated Frydek. Back here we have a Hoya Mathilde. It is growing like crazy. We got new growth. It's obviously trellising so much. Next to that we have a Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. Wow, you guys, this is a new leaf. Look how big that is. Hoya latifolias get massive. That's, I think, the type of Hoya that the dinner plate Hoya is. I think it's a latifolia. I could be wrong. But they get really, really big. And this one, just moving this stuff out of the way, has really sized up ever since I trellised it. And especially since I put it in a cabinet. But yeah, Hoya latifolia Snow Queen. And then here, what do we got? I think this is a Hoya Sarawak. Oh my God. There we go. The leaves are kind of curling, but I believe this is a Hoya Sarawak. Again, we're gonna get those big leaves. Might be part of the latifolia family. This one got a little close to the grow light. Whoa. Okay, yeah. Holy, oh my gosh. You guys, look how big that leaf is. Yeah, these leaves on the Hoya Sarawak get really big. And then over here, we have Hoya obovata inner variegata splash. So we have the inner variegation and we have splash. But as you guys can see, that variegation, it kind of fades. I never really had one that had distinct variegation. Just kind of like slight. Even this leaf that's massive and new just has like barely any variegation. So yeah, hopefully that one will put out some more splashiness. And it looks like the Sarawak, oh my gosh, it's rooted up. Let's pull that down. I'm gonna have to tame these. That's on my to-do. And actually, this Matilde has like grown to the top cabinet so many times. Yeah, and this, oh my goodness. The Snow Queen has literally grown and grown up to the shelf. Hoyas are on a whole other level, you guys. All right, last but not least, we have the lower part, which is anthuriums. This one makes me sad. This one was the Anthurium Mag, I think it says, Magnificum and Moronense. It was a beautiful hybrid, but it got spider mites and then it didn't get watered, so it really did not tolerate the drought and dropped its leaves. So that one sucks. I hope that one comes back. And I put it in a cabinet because that way it can be all good. Then we have this cutie, Stunner Leaf. Don't know what this one is. And there's not a tag on it. I'm pretty sure, I think this is one of my dock blocks. I think so. I think this is a dock block crystallinum or something, because it looks really similar to this one. And this one is a dock block forgetii, F2 maybe. Definitely dock block forgetii. That one is so pretty. I love it. Probably one of my absolute favorite anthuriums. Like, the leaves come out like just so stunning. Yeah, this one's definitely a dock block, but I don't know if it's a dock block crystallinum or a dock block magnificum. And then back here, we have a dark form Anthurium forgetii. I love the dark form because it gets so dark. It's almost like a black velvet, and then it gets this like bright green veining. So yeah, I love the forgetii. That's a dark form. And then over here, what was this one again? Regali crystallinum. So hopefully it'll get nice and big. We have a new leaf on the way that comes out, a very beautiful burgundy red. And then they get this deep dark green velvet with like bright crystal sparkly veins. So if you guys can tell, I mean, I love my anthuriums, and when I'm doing good at taking care of them, they're so stunning. It's just, you know what? The sad thing is that someday they're going to outgrow this area. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can, like, prune them back, kind of like the Frydek, and just make it so they only have, like, 3 leaves at a time. That way I can enjoy it. But yeah, that is the Mills Bow Tall in the bedroom. And then up here, we have my Epipremnum Cebu Blue. This one trails down like crazy. I have cut it multiple times, but this one is actually so special to me because I got it when I was visiting my friend Michaela in South Dakota, and I stopped in Sioux Falls and I picked out a pot and a plant And now I have that as a souvenir. And I'd like to do that more often. But yeah, that is a Cebu blue. I used to have so many like Cebus, and now I only have one. It's so crazy. And then on this side, guess what? Another marble queen pothos. It's not a snow queen, it's a marble queen. So you can see it's just got like a lot more green than the snow queen. But we get the half moons. We get beautiful variegation, and this one is just trailing down. I do like having plants trailing down on top of my cabinet. It just makes it feel more jungly. And then over here, we used to have a grow light and this lamp, and then I could put a plant down here, but we haven't done that lately. And I gotta really clean up all the Hoya flowers down there. But anywho, we have my Hoya Walleniana. All right, I turned on my light so you guys can see this better. Hoya Walleniana's Sunstress into a deep purple. This is probably one of my absolute favorite Hoyas. It's so stunning. I did what I keep telling you, and I put the Hoya on the top shelf in the detail for that panel light, and it went from being like, I'd say like that long to being I'd say about 3 feet. 3 feet long? What do you guys think? Dang, maybe it's actually more than 3 feet. I don't know. But those lights are amazing. And this one is in a cute hanging pot. I think this one has flowered for me numerous times. You guys can see there's dying flowers. And there was a peduncle there. Peduncles there. Yeah, this one has flowered for me numerous times, so I get Hoya flowers all over my floor. So that's a Hoya Walleniana UT. And like I said, this thing gets like full on purple in bright sunlight. And then down here, we have my Monstera Mint. She is beautiful. This leaf here in the middle is the newest leaf, and it's slowly getting rid of the baby leaves because it's a fairly young plant, but the stem is just stunning, and it's so minty. I love that. Got a bunch of crystals. And then right here we have my OG, my Monstera Elbow with just beautiful sectoral variegation. You guys, these roots are crazy. They're literally growing into the window. We have one that is, let's see, all the way down here. Do you guys see it? It's from all the way up there and comes all the way down here. And I've actually had them growing all the way down the floor, but the cats kept messing with them. But yeah, so this is my Monstera Elbow. It's currently really facing the window. I think I gotta give it a good rotation, but it just has such good marbling variegation. I waited so long until I found one that had the variegation that I like. This one has like mint on it, which is what I really wanted. And then different sectoral pieces. And I actually planted it in with another Monstera Alba that I had that was a little more juvenile, that also had stunning variegation. Man, all these are getting close to each other. But yeah, this one, I'm not even gonna try and turn around, but you guys can see it also has that beautiful marbling and mintiness. So yeah, I actually just took both Monstera elbows and combined them into one elbow pot. And then over here, we have my third Monstera Thai constellation. This one, you guys, is not so speckly. See? Yeah, not so speckly. But yeah, this one has actually been quite a slow grower, and I hope it puts out more variegation. My other one I got from Lindy's, and then my massive one I got from Tonkadale. So I actually have 3 ties, and they're all from different places, and they're all different stages of growth. Now we have this monstrosity. It is so dusty. Oh my god, you guys. I gotta shower all my plants down so bad. This is my Hoya fungii. It has literally tendrils growing all the way out here. It is out of hand, as you guys can see, but it will not stop flowering. And it's beautiful. It smells really good. The flowers are literally velvety, and this thing has flowered so much, so much. It won't stop flowering. So then I get Hoya flowers and stems and all that stuff on my floor. But you guys, look, again, like, now you know why I have a couple props, is because it literally, it grows. It's all the way over here. And you can see I chopped it there, all the way over here. It actually at one point tried to wrap itself around these leaves. So it's crazy. I don't know what to do, honestly. It won't stop flowering, and it will not stop growing. So I'm gonna probably take more cuttings of it and just give it a good trim. And then next to that, we have my mother plant of my strawberry shake. Philodendron strawberry shake. This thing is so pretty. I love strawberry shakes because each leaf you get something different, and they come out, you know, different patterns, different colors. I chopped mine right there. So this is the newest growth point coming out. Yeah, well, it looks like, there we go. So that's the newest growth point coming out. I actually need to move this because this is a south facing window, but because that Hoya is so big, it blocks the light for my strawberry shake. So it's getting a little bit less variegation and way more dull. So yeah, I definitely need to move that. And then we come down here. This is my variegated Maranta. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a prayer plant, and then it's variegated. And then sometimes the variegation will be pink. But yeah, it's like speckly and green and light, and it's really pretty. It used to be so full, but like I accidentally forgot to water it and it really died back. So it's kind of, it needs to recover. And then right here we have a peace lily. This is supposed to be the Jessica peace lily, which is so variegated and pretty, but it totally reverted. So big bummer. So it's just a regular peace lily now. And then if we stand up right here, we have an amazing Anthurium vitarifolium. The longest leaf is like 4 to 5 feet long. It's really crazy. I have to step back and show you. But yeah, that one is such an easy growing Anthurium. I highly recommend if you want an Anthurium that doesn't need high humidity but is strappy. And I kind of recommend getting a big one. My little one doesn't grow as fast, and it keeps flowering. And then next to that, we have a Philodendron Rio. I love this one. It's the heartleaf philodendron. It's the Brazil hybrid called the Rio, and it is just stunning. It gets really pointed tips of the leaves and a beautiful creamy variegation. This one was so long, but I really wanted to start bushing out, so I gave it a chop, a trim. And then last but not least, over here we have my monkey tail cactus. If you guys saw, I do have the unboxing for this plant posted on my YouTube, and this thing was really difficult to unbox. You'll have to go look that up, but you guys can see it's got new growth. It is growing at the tips. And then actually, I'm not gonna take it down, but inside the pot, it has new pups growing. So this thing is actually growing way faster than I expected it to for being a cactus, but every time I water it, I give it a really good soak in the sink, so that's probably why. So that's a monkey tail cactus. I have some houseplant books there. Then we have this cutie. I love this snake plant. I think it's called Black Gold. I might be wrong, you guys, but the leaves get so dark that they look basically black. Also, ignore this paint. This is from Home Depot, so like someone got like crap on it, but yeah, the leaves get so dark that they turn black, and then they have this gold edge, and I just love the look of it. It's so minimal and aesthetic, and it has some bright green brand new growth. That's crazy because this was a pup. This was brand new all summer. But yeah, I just love this one. Oh my god, look at all that dust. Yeah, I love this one. And then on top of that is my massive golden pothos with like leaves the size of my hand. Like, that's crazy. It actually is trailing so long, but because Willow kept wanting to play with the vines and bite them and whatever, I was scared she was gonna knock it over. So I actually just like picked the vines up and like laid them on to here. So it's bushy. It's definitely trailing way more. I eventually wanted to have it climb the mirror, but I just never got to that. But yeah, that's that plant stand. And then next to it, we have the other Millsbow wide cabinet. And we have this cutie. This is just a neon pothos. And this one, she doesn't mess with this one, which is weird. She definitely messed with the other one, but this one is just doing great. I revived this. It had very hydrophobic soil, and I gave it a repot, and now it is just like, where does this vine end? I don't even know, but it's doing good. So I do kind of like having two bushy, super vining pothos just like here. I don't know. People like hate on pothos, but they're just such good plants if you just want to get that jungly, vining, leafy vibe. So yeah, and then next to that, I just have more crystals, and we'll get into what's in the cabinet. Okay, so this cabinet sits at between 75 and 80% humidity. It's the Millsbow wide from IKEA, and if you guys can tell, I mean, Dino installed the pegboard in the back, which I actually love because then I could use these hanging pots. But yeah, let's go through this cabinet one by one. To start on this side, we have the, God, how do you pronounce it? Cercialis, Murialis, something. I can't even say it. I'll obviously put it on the screen, but it is stunning. I wanted this plant for so long, but everybody said that they were really temperamental and they needed humidity. So I kind of just waited, but then I actually got one as a rehab, like a second chance plant, and I mean, clearly it rehabbed very well. So I love it. It is stunning. I definitely though think that this one needs the humidity. And then up here, something Macodes. It's a jewel orchid. I love the foliage. It's so stunning. So stunning. I really like jewel orchids. I should get into those again. I used to be super into them. And then down here we have propagations. I think it's three cuttings that I potted together of my jade syndapsis. I want that to fill out to be its own nice little pot and eventually fill it into my mother plant. As you guys can tell, that's what I always do. And then here we have a variegated anthurium. It wasn't labeled and we just said it was a variegated bird's nest, but I don't know. It almost gives me like Anthurium renaissance vibes. It's hard to tell because it doesn't necessarily look like the typical green version of the bird's nest, but Like, look at that. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's the base. It needs a repot and more moss. But it has, if you guys can tell, has a baby plant that grew out of it. So that's exciting. There's 2 plants in that pot. And then right here, we have an Anthurium regale. This one, if you guys remember from my other videos, the Anthurium regale I purchased as a second chance plant, basically, scratch and dent. And it was just a little stub with like a small leaf. And then not long after I brought it home, it gave me this massive leaf. So I was like, heck yeah, I saved it and it is thriving. And now it finally is putting out another leaf. So that being the newest leaf, I cannot wait to see how big it is, because look at how big this one got. This one is gonna get big. Right next to that, we have an Anthurium crystallinum, but it was a hybrid, because this one I purchased, you guys can see my rose floral tour video, and it did not look like a typical crystallinum. It kind of does right now, but it also doesn't. And I have 2 crystallinums, so like I know. I think it's a cross of some sort. And you can tell more in my other video, but that plant like had some issues. It was going through it and I didn't know what was wrong with it. So it died and then totally came back. But it is a 1-leaf wonder. See? 1-leaf wonder right now. This thing is like weighing down on it. And then next to that, we have an Anthurium luxurians. You guys, what the heck? Give me your tips, because this is my plant that I got from Florida back in February, I believe. And it won't give me any leaves. This is one of the original leaves. And it has tried, like it's put out like one thing, it was trying, and then it died off. And then it was trying again, and it died off. So I'm literally down to one tiny little leaf and it will not grow. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or maybe it needs higher humidity or something. But this thing just, I don't know. We have a root right there. It's not growing. And then next to it again, like I've said previously, we have a small little pot of an Anthurium forgetii. You guys can see, I don't know if it's a forgetii, but you guys can see again multiple plants in the pot, a little baby. So right now I have 3 baby plants, or 3 baby pots of multiple plants of Anthurium forgetii. And there's one in this cabinet, one in that cabinet, and one in the detolf in the plant room. So yeah, it's doing fine. The others seem to be doing better. And then back here we have a philodendron brandiatum, whatever. This one is a propagation from my mother plant that you guys saw was in the plant room. And I have it on this cute little trellis, and now it's just kind of like a weed growing up. But this thing is another plant that I have a hard time getting to size up. I like the mature form of the plant. I don't love this baby leaf version, so we'll see if I keep it. And then behind that we have the star of the show. It is my Monstera aurea. It is so pretty. It did not like when I didn't water for like a couple weeks. You guys can see I do have browning, but the aurea can be tricky. Like, look at that variegation. The aurea can be tricky. Honestly, it tends to brown easily for a lot of people. Wow. I got such a good genetics, you know? Because look at these leaves. I get like half moons, and then on the half moons, I get marbling. It is stunning. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. But now you guys see this. It's outgrown this cabinet. So I'm actually going to be taking this out and finding a spot for it, because it has outgrown the cabinet, which is really crazy because it used to be like right here. I think I'll put it with my other special monsteras. I just got to make room. Maybe I'll kick out the fungi, something like that. We'll see. And then next to that, we have a second chance Monstera obliqua, but this thing has not grown for me whatsoever. It has only started dying and it hates me, and I don't think this plant will ever grow. Obliquas seem to grow super slow and seem to be temperamental. And then right here we have an Anthurium Velanorium. I can never pronounce it, but again, this one also just has not really grown. I don't know. Does anyone have this plant? Is it a slow grower? Because it has been a crazy slow grower for me. I love it how it looks mature, but I'm getting pretty annoyed that all it's doing is like yellowing and not growing. I don't know. Anthurium Villanorum. And yeah, so that is all of the plants in the Millsbo Wide. And actually, that's all of the plants in the bedroom. Before we end today's video, I wanted to end it on a good high transparent note. These plants are quarantining my bathroom. This is an Anthurium, not Anthurium, what am I saying? I think it's like Philodendron Columbia Silver, something like that. But yeah, I got this one recently when I was at the Lindy's nursery in Maple Grove, but it has a lot of spider mites. So it's had to quarantine in here, and I've given it a round of treatment, but it definitely needs another one. And it has a bunch of little babies in the pot. It will need to be repotted into a crawling pot, but yeah, I just want to for sure show you guys. Like, I have plants with pests that I just have to quarantine and that don't do too hot. Same with this one. This is one of my favorites. This is a Philodendron Palmanii. It gets such pillowy big leaves, but this thing is a spider mite magnet. I have it in a crawling pot as well. You can see that's what they prefer. I'm not even gonna grab it, but that leaf back there, you guys, it is, let's see if I can give you a good look. The biggest leaf, it is like covered in spider mites. Like, I did not want to touch this plant to bring it in here. But yeah, that's gonna be my next project. Is I gotta spray these and wipe these down. And honestly, with how dusty all my other plants are, there's probably pests on other plants too. So I'm gonna have to just prioritize one day that I do a massive spraying, cleaning, treating all my plants. Okay, that is everything. I know I went kind of quick, and it's like 1 in the morning, so my brain isn't really working. It's hard to speak and come up with thoughts. Talking is hard. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I really wanted to make sure that I finished off this video and didn't forget to include the bedroom. But I love the plants in here. I get really peaceful jungle vibes when I'm laying in bed, especially if it's like raining or something outside. But yeah, I would say the bedroom stays consistently clean, and it's probably one of my favorite spots. And I definitely prioritize putting some of my favorite plants right here, because this is where, you know, I'm winding down. Okay, you guys, that's it. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching to the end. I know that it's not a short video, but I mean, just think about it. If I didn't split up the plant room and then this video, like, it's a lot. I literally counted, I have 311 plants. So if we want a full tour, it takes a lot of time, and it's taking me all day to film. So I'm sure it'll be fun editing. Love that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. This is just kind of the life. This is what it's like. Our apartment is barely 1,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and then you guys saw what our living room, dining room area, it's all just kind of like that open main area. So, I mean, over 300 plants in this space. It's a lot, and it's a lot to manage, but I get through it somehow, barely, and I love it. I can't wait until we have a house and I have more space to spread things out and be a little bit more intentional with them. because I have so many plants, but as you guys could hear throughout the tour, there's a lot that I'm like, I don't love this. I should probably just get rid of it. I should gift it away, because I really do have to prioritize and be picky on what plants I'm bringing in anymore. Like, I am at capacity, so I don't know, especially when I have so many to take care of, I need to prioritize plants that I really enjoy and that I love. And sometimes as you guys go through your years of collecting, some of them you're like, I love these, and then a couple years later they just don't do it for you anymore, and that's totally okay. Like, it's okay to kind of filter things out, get rid of some of the old plants that you're not feeling that spark for anymore, so that you have space to bring in new ones that you're interested in. And part of being a plant parent is that you grow and that you learn what you like, what you don't like, and develop your sense of a collection and what you really enjoy and what you want to spend your time on. But I don't know, I also love it. I love living in a jungle. Dino's super supportive, and I don't think I'd have it any other way, to be honest. All right, I'm so tired. It is 1:30 in the morning. I'm so tired. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.